to all our Sports Today family members. And today we are just about now approaching the 2 week period when it comes to the World Cup. I mean, on 19th, you're going to see India take on Bangladesh. That's still a good 2 days away. Today, you're going to see South Africa take on Netherlands in Dharamshala. Now, remember, South Africa, Netherlands in 2022, what happened? Netherlands pulled out the ultimate upset and beat South Africa. So now, what we are going to see is a repeat. Maybe not. South Africa would want revenge for what happened in 2022. In ODIs, it's been a different thing altogether. They have beaten and thrashed the Netherlands every single time that they have met. So today, it's Netherlands versus South Africa in Dharamshala. We hope that the weather remains fine because there has been rain up in the north of India as witnessed yesterday. Now, Gautam Gambhir is once again in the news for two reasons. Two quotes that he had made about India versus Pakistan and also on the crowd behavior in Ahmedabad. Now, let me get to the one quote that he mentioned about India versus Pakistan. He says, and in an interview with the host broadcasters, Gautam Gambhir has stated that India's lopsided dominance of Pakistan now is actually very bad for subcontinent cricket. That is the thing that he has stated very, very explicitly. I mean, Gautam Gambhir minces no words, and he said that, look, India have held the upper hand over Pakistan in one-day internationals for a long time now. 10 years, just 2 wins. But at this point in time, if this kind of dominance continues, subcontinent cricket will just wither away. And that is the reason, if you look at it, not just India versus Pakistan, you look at Sri Lanka, you look at Bangladesh, you look at even Pakistan at this point in time, the inconsistency that is there and the lack of quality competition that is there within the subcontinent, it will mean that India will be runaway winners each and every time. Look at the subcontinent. At one point, Sri Lanka used to dominate. At one point, Pakistan used to dominate. India used to dominate. Now it's just India who are dominating in most aspects when you look at the subcontinent teams. I mean, look at what has happened with Sri Lanka. They may have reached the final of the Asia Cup, but what happened to them in the final? Blown away for 50. Look at Pakistan. They got blown away by a huge margin, 7 wickets and 19.3 runs in Ahmedabad. So that's why Gautam Gambhir, is he right when he says that India's dominance of Pakistan is very bad for subcontinent cricket? Because it will mean that maybe you won't see that much of quality cricket and that people might just not want to watch any more of these kind of contests. I mean, India versus Sri Lanka, India versus Bangladesh, and also Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Not many people anyway look forward to the contest because there is hardly any quality cricket in that. But if India versus Pakistan goes down that route, then there will be a lot of problems indeed about that. Now, one of the Pakistan news organizations has carried a quote which we cannot independently verify, is that Gautam Gambhir has also criticized the Ahmedabad crowd. He said you should not misbehave with the visitors. I mean, they're also here to play a World Cup. He has apparently quoted, which we cannot independently verify, is that you have to be in your best behavior when it happens. Do you think that the Ahmedabad crowd was at their best behavior? One may think yes, one may think maybe not. You have seen some videos emerge of certain sections of the fans chanting all these slogans to Mohammad Rizwan at this point. So it's not an ideal situation indeed. And the ICC, if you have to look at it, they are confident of India hosting an outstanding World Cup. But yet again, the ticket sales, the fans, the attendances, and that is why it is going to be a very, very dodgy situation. I mean, this is the 12th day, if you have to look at it, of the ICC World Cup. Barring India games and barring the games in Delhi, the attendances in all the other venues have been absolutely woeful. And that is the reason. Even yesterday, you saw so many empty seats in the Australia versus Sri Lanka contest in Ekana. And it's not a good sign if you are hosting the World Cup. I mean, already there has been tremendous issues over online ticketing sales. Already there has been massive issues over fan complaints about why are we not getting the tickets. The entire scheduling, hosting, 100 days prior you announce the schedule. How on earth are you going to get that much of traction? And that is why it's not a good situation when you have to look at India versus Pakistan. Yes, that had 90 to 1 lakh seats. But at this point, the official attendances for Ahmedabad have still not yet been released, which means that they are still trying to either collate information or they just do not want to release it at this point in time. So, do you agree that India's lopsided dominance over Pakistan and ODIs in particular, it's bad for the growth of subcontinent cricket? You can let us know in the comments below. And it's going to be a very, very interesting thing as to how this pans out indeed. Now, yesterday was a very historic day in the sense that Olympics was included the sport of cricket after a gap of 128 years. There was softball, there was squash, there was baseball, and there is cricket. Cricket in particular, 128 years later, it makes a comeback. I mean, and one of the prime reasons that was cited by one of the Olympic organizing committee is Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli's popularity, he is apparently the third most followed athlete in the history of Instagram. I mean, just behind LeBron James and everyone. So his popularity will mean that cricket will get a big, big boost when it is going to be played in Los Angeles 2028. And Nicola Campriani, who was one of the ace shooters and one of double Olympic medalists, he has cited that the Virat Kohli example. He stated that Virat Kohli is really, really going to be one of the key factors. And that is the reason why cricket is such a global and popular sport, because of Virat Kohli. And that's why he stated that when cricket was included in the Olympics after 128 years. And that's why kudos to the IOC. They definitely need to be commended for a brilliant, brilliant show. Cricket returns after 128 years, and Los Angeles, you will see in the T20 format, all the nations who are going to participate in that, maybe they'll have a separate window, maybe you could play there, and let's hope for the best. So Los Angeles 2028 sees the return of cricket formally, officially at this point. Now, if you have to look at all the other sports that's happening, the Euro qualifiers and all, Spain are doing pretty well. And of course, one of the action when regards to Israel, one of the matches has been halted due to the terror strikes that have happened there at this point in time. So that is the situation when it comes to the Euros. At this point, HS Pranoy is going to miss 2 tournaments because of the back injury that he sustained. He will be out for 3 weeks, and that's why he's going to miss the French and Danish Opens that's going to be played. So we are reaching the near business end of even the badminton season as well. And it'll be very interesting to see how each and every Indian individual dominates in that. Lakshya Sen will lead India's charge in both France and Denmark at this point. So that is the situation when we have to look at all the other sport. And Rahul Basu saying, what is England winning Test series 3-0 still? But see, dominance not defined by bilaterals is the performance on world level. Rahul Basu, yes, agreed. I mean, dominance is not. But then you look at India versus Pakistan, they play only in world levels. Where do they play if you look at it on all the other bilateral series events? Sure, 90s Pakistan were clearly dominating over India. That was the case. Agreed. But now the tables have turned in a big way. And that's why only on world events, if you look at it, Pakistan have not done well against India. I mean, count even T20Is into the mixture. It's a really horrifying story in that sense. Darshan PD is saying India versus New Zealand is an exciting one, but hope rains don't play spoil sports in that game. Looking forward to this, guys. Yes, that's the problem. India versus New Zealand in Dharamshala, that is a good contest and one of the contests in the World Cup that will be very highly anticipated. But yet again, rain might be a factor in Dharamshala, and that is something which you may not want to see, because even remember in 2019, rain had played spoil sport. You couldn't even get to bowl a single ball in Trent Bridge. And that's why you saw in the semi-final what happened. And that's why Haris Tahir is saying ODIs is not the future to it. T20Is are going to be way more than ODIs in coming time. And I think when it comes to T20Is, no dominance there, looks pretty neutral or in the favor of PAK to me. I mean, see, ODIs are not the future. Absolutely agree. The next cycle is an indication that yes, there is no, there are not going to be too many ODIs. And many people are saying play ODIs only in World Cups. But T20Is, yet again, if you have to look at it, India versus Pakistan, India once again dominated Pakistan, and even T20Is. Yes, 2021 T20 World Cup, Pakistan absolutely hammered India. But 2022, there is a rivalry in T20Is. Nothing else. There is a rivalry in T20s because some of the contests have been very thrilling there. And that's why 2022 laid the foundation of a new T20I rivalry, India versus Pakistan. Fantastic rivalry. One hopes it remains in the future in that sense. So it is going to be, yeah, I mean, last four T20s has been 2-2, agreed, but still, it's going to be, they'll only play in world events. That's the problem. They won't play bilaterals, they won't play anything else. And that's why sports, when India versus New Zealand and rain is an old love story. Yep. 2019 it happened. And that's why, except for 2003, most contests, and even 1999, if I remember, all the other contests were not impacted by rain at all. And if you look at even 1992, Dunedin, not impacted. Only recently, 2019, rain played a spoil sport both in the league stages and in the semi-finals. Now there is a rain threat in the Dharamshala. One hopes that it subsides. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so now when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Sports fan is asking just before I sign off, how do you see 6 teams in Olympics? Should format be like Asian Games or washouts lead to winner according to ranking? Interesting question. I don't know how the format will be, but I would like to see a reserve day in the final. But I don't think the Olympics allows for that because there are too many multidiscipline sports happening at the same time. I don't think, yeah, I think according to the rankings only, that is the best way to go forward. If there is one sport amongst a multitude of sports, then I think this kind of formats do work. And whether you like it or not, that is the way forward. So higher ranking indeed will ensure that you do well in all the other tournaments leading up to the Olympics. And that's why I think that format will only work, the Asian Games format, but we don't know in 2028 how it will be. So let's see how it is. He's saying Rahul is saying India versus South Africa final will be a treat. We hope so. I mean, South Africa are one of the teams to beat, but they always taper off towards the fag end. We hope that doesn't happen with South Africa this time around. So thank you so much, folks. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Bye-bye, and tap that bell icon so you know when we go live.